Welcome to QuickBites, public speaking tips and techniques you can digest in 5 minutes or less. Here's your host, Peter George.
One of the questions I get asked often is, how do I know my presentation connected with the audience? That's a fair question because just about every speaker is curious, if not eager, to know if they serve their audience well. Here's what I tell them. Listen to the subject of the audience member's comments. If it's about you, you probably didn't achieve your objective. If it's about themselves, it's more likely that you nailed it. Sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Well, please stick with me while I explain. When audience members come up to you after a presentation and say things like, "Good job," or "You certainly are passionate about your subject," or "You're an excellent speaker," you may have missed the mark when it comes to serving your audience. Otherwise, the audience members would be saying things like, "I'm inspired," or "Now I know I can face my greatest fears," or "I never looked at it that way before. I'm glad you gave me a different perspective to ponder." You see, when they talk about you, it often, not always, but often, means you didn't give them anything to take away. But when they talk about themselves and what they're going to do, or how your talk has changed them, you've done your job and done it well. Keep in mind that if you're speaking in a situation such as a conference room, and while on the way back to your seat, someone quickly says, "Good job," or "You were awesome," you may have indeed served your listeners. But because the other person had to be brief, they used shorthand. So what should you do when people say, "Good job," and similar statements? Respond by saying something like, "Thank you for your kind words, but what was your greatest takeaway?" If they can provide one, awesome. If they compliment you, well, you know. Strive for more than the ever so polite "good job," and listen for words that confirm you and the message you shared affected the minds, careers, or other parts of your listeners' lives. That's when you'll know your presentation connected with your audience.
Thank you for devouring another episode of QuickBites. Tune in Monday when you'll hear another episode of Public Speaking with Peter George, and again Thursday for your next episode of QuickBites. Until then, remember, when it comes to speaking in public, you've got this.